What's going on, guys? I am screwing up the way that the camera is set up. Whatever, we're going to go with that. It's 12:01 at night. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Had an absolutely packed day. Sold the deal this morning, then traveled all over Connecticut. Had to stop in West Hartford, did a whole bunch of stuff, then got on the phone with one of my network of entrepreneurs in California. He owns a media marketing company, connected him with my video editor. Had this whole conversation and such, just got off the phone, and I just wanted to kind of put out there and share a little bit about that phone call, because we were talking, and he used to be addicted to heroin, and as you know, my buddy just passed away from doing so, and he was talking about that, he really wants to get out there, the encouragement for people who are down and out. This is so dark right here. Maybe that helps. I don't know. He wants to get out encouragement for people who are down on their luck, who are totally at that bottom pit of just despair, and they don't know how the hell they're going to get out. They have no clue what they're going to do. I remember talking to this guy way back in the day when him and I were both completely down and out, and he was just, when he was hooked on it, we would make plans and we would go to get together, and he would just blow off the plans, not get back to me. He'd be sitting in his bedroom all damn day, shades drawn, whatever. It's dark as shit. He's wallowing in self-pity. And he basically told me on the phone, he's like, if someone had just shown up with him, just handed him a gun and told him, hey, look, pull the trigger, put a bullet in your head, he's like, I would have fucking did that. And what he's trying to do is similar to the same kinds of stuff as me, except he doesn't really share his journey, on social media or YouTube like I'm doing. But he wants to get to a point in his life where he is so successful that people look at him and they're like, holy fucking shit, how did you get to this level? And he can look back and he can tell them the stories about basically, this is where I was. I felt disgusting. I felt like I had absolutely no way to get out of this pit. No possible way to come out of here. I'm spending all my money on heroin, and then you'd fall into these deep pits in a heroin. If you guys have ever fucking done heroin, I don't know if you have or not, but the kind of pit you fall into doing that is there's no light in that pit. You may have stolen from friends and family, and you end up just dark. It's dark, I'm telling you. And since you can't see the light, you just sit there, and it's like he would finally come out of these funks, and he would hit me up and be like, bro, I want to get by this shit. I want to make something of myself. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I wouldn't hear from him again for days at a time, and he would fall back into that. And then when he'd finally get out, he had no damn money because he had spent all his money, At the most, I think he had, he was saying about $30,000 he had saved up back then. He just blew it all, and we were talking about being thankful for things and stuff. And I was telling him how incredible it is and how much gratitude that I have and appreciation that I have for the fact that I can walk over, well, I'm pointing, you can't see my arm, but trust me, there's a finger at the end of my arm pointing, that I can walk over to that wall right there and I flick a switch, and it changes, the environment from hot to cold in here. And I was saying how much gratitude I have for that switch on the wall, because that's coming from somebody who, several years ago spent the Christmas, New Year's time basically throwing up on myself in a fucking car, drunk off my ass on the side of the road while it's fucking freezing outside, and I'm probably would have froze to death that night, actually, if my friend didn't find me. Anyways, how thankful I am coming from that, when I didn't have a home, at least I had a car, but going from that to here, which, is such a blessing and such an appreciation. And we were talking about the fact of, trust fund kids, they're born into having everything, right? They're born into having silver spoons and all the money and whatever car they want for their birthday and this, that, and the other. But then they end up just going more and more down this slope. A lot of them end up committing suicide. A lot of them end up miserable. And we were talking about, is it even truly possible to have a deep appreciation for things in life when you haven't experienced true lack, because it's not the struggle itself, it's the character that the struggle builds if you can get through it. And I would just want to shoot this just to kind of like share a little bit of the conversation, like I said, because it's like, for anybody who is down and out, for anybody who is anywhere near the levels that myself or my buddy had hit, that I just got off the phone with, when you're down there, I know that you can't see the light. I'm sorry, a notification came up. I know you can't see the light. I know you can't see how the hell your life is going to get better, and everything looks horrible. It's just, if I can encourage you at all to keep going, like, look, I'm not completely out, okay? He's not completely out. We still have things that we got to get handled, in our personal lives and stuff to muddle through, right? Like residual shit that we gotta come to terms with that went on. But we are still moving forward. And, I talk about it all the time. You don't go to the gym to lift light weights. You go to the gym to lift stuff that makes your body uncomfortable. Because when your body's uncomfortable, you grow. The same way that when you are having struggles in your life, that uncomfortability forces you to find ways over those obstacles, to find ways around these blockages that are stopping you from becoming who you want to be. Because on the other side of these struggles is the person that you want to be. Behind every struggle, every fear, that is the person you want to be. And if you will push through that and you just keep going, you got to understand it's not going to be overnight. It might take years. It has taken years for me to even get my health to where it is today. And I still have farther to go. It has taken years for him to kick his addiction and to, get more things going for himself, move out to California, try to start a new life for himself out there. This stuff takes time. It takes years, but you have to remember that diamonds they're forged under pressure, right? And a lot of the stuff that I went through, I kind of wrote off my 20s because that is when like the bulk of all the stuff that I had happen in my life that I went through was my 20s. Yeah, I got stories from my teenage years and going back a little bit, sure, but the bulk of the struggles were the 20s. And I wrote that off, but instead of writing it off, my perception has to be that, hey, yeah, my 20s were massive struggles and they, beat me down to my knees, and there was so many times like I wanted to end it all. Like I remember one day in particular, I made a phone call to a friend of mine, and I was this fucking close, and I remember calling him up and just telling him and being like, dude, I'll never forget. I called him up. I was like choking back tears. Some stuff had gone on with my father at the time. Nobody was home then. And I remember making a call and just telling him, I'm like, I need you here. And he's like, I think I said, I need you now, or I need you here. And he was changing a transmission. And he's like, dude, I don't know, I'll hit you up in a little bit. I'm like, no, I need you here now. I am the absolute closest I've ever been. I'm afraid I'm going to do it right now. I need you here. And this was years ago. This was how bad it was for me. Well, the reason I'm bringing all this up, the conversation with myself and the person I was just talking to in California, this is, by the way, not the person I'm going to go down and be mentored by over in Cali. This is somebody else who just happens to live there. I was that low. And my friend, by the way, he did end up coming. He dropped the transmission and he raced to my house, and he spent 20 minutes with me. It's all he had to give me that day, because he had these prior obligations, but he got me a few steps back from the edge, a few steps back, and I was able to pull myself back the rest of the way. And I'll never forget, that was the absolute closest I ever got. One day, maybe I'll share why I was so close to that, but what I'm trying to get at with this video, and I want to drill home, is that if you or someone, just feels, or someone just feels that fucked, that like you've made that many mistakes in life, you're so far down, you've got no money, you have no friends, your family won't let you in the house. Like, there's a quote, and my friend I was on the phone with shared it with me, and I'm going to try to get this right, but the quote goes, if you've hit rock bottom, there's no more solid a place of which you can launch from. And if you start to talk to yourself and you get the right mindsets, going, and you just reinforce this every single day. If you are at rock bottom, that means that it may not feel stable, but that's a hell of a foundation to launch from, because it's rock solid, right? It's a rock solid, rock bottom foundation to shoot up from, And the reason that I do what I do on this channel, the reason that I share these stories with you, and I try to motivate you, and I try to inspire you, and I try to get people on track, is because I know people are hurting out there. I look around me and I see people who are lost, and they're upset, and they don't know where they're going in life, and there's struggles, and there's difficulties. People feel alone. People feel like they can't express themselves. They feel everything under the sun. I know there's a lot of pain in this world, and I personally know how lonely it can be when that pain is flaring up, when you are feeling these deep, dark, miserable moments in your life. And I'm trying to stand here as a testament that if you just keep going, if you keep just 1% better a day, just keep making moves in your life, just analyze your situation and what is the next step. I try to stand here, and the reason that I do what I do, and I put myself out there basically to be judged by random strangers across the internet, is because if I can change people's lives and I can get people to realize that they are not alone, there is other people out there who have struggled. He is actually going to fly out. I'm just not using his name because I'm just not yet, but he's going to be flying out here from California probably in the next, 2 to 3 months or something like that. And we're going to have a show, and he's basically working himself up to get on camera because he felt terrible about all the places that he's been to, those dark depths, and he's has difficulty showing his face. The reason I do what I do is that I'm trying to show you that you can turn your life around, that somebody can come from essentially nothing, which is where I have been in my life. I have been in periods of time where I did not have anything, or at least I felt like I didn't have anything. I'm trying to show you can come from that. You can become successful. You can get what you want out of life. You can turn your life around, and you can do it while keeping your morals. You can do it while keeping your integrity, keeping your heart, having a good heart. You can do this without stepping on people, and you can do it the right way. I am not fucking over anybody. I am not stepping on people to get what I want. I'm trying to live and lead my life with integrity and upholding what I believe in with a clear conscience, and showing that you can get things in life and you can get them the right way. So, I hope that the videos that go on this channel, as I share the steps along my journey, no, I don't have a Lamborghini right now. Nope, you're not going to see me rent one to pretend that I'm successful and you should fucking follow me. Can I rent one? Sure. I could fucking buy one right now, right? I don't do that shit because I'm trying to show you what it takes to become real successful. It takes fucking stowing your money away, buying cheap shit, that works, like my $2,700 truck that I still buy. I'm trying to show that you don't have to have all the flashy shit. Will I have flashy shit? Absolutely. I love flashy shit. I'll have it later. I'm trying to show you how to do this right. Not the get rich quick bullshit. Not showing you that I have a fucking Lambo or Corvettes or all this whatever the fuck, you know, I'm trying to show you guys how to go about this properly while maintaining my integrity and not lying to you and not like trying to come across as some big shot. I'm trying to come across as showing you in the trenches, in the heat of trying to turn your life around and trying to get to where you want to be. I'm trying to show the struggles that happen while you're trying to do it. I showed you guys my anxiety. I talked to you guys about my, you know, my PTSD, the breakdown that I had earlier this year that forced me to resign from that first job that I was at. I talked to you guys about the stuff because that shit is real. That's what happens when you try to like overcome everything at once and you do too much. You know, that's what I did. I did too much, right? I want to show people that you can turn your lives around. I want to show that you can come from nothing and you can become successful. It's very important to me. I don't quite know why, but it's very important to me to try to encourage this world and encourage people and leave this place, this world in a better place, in a better light than when I came here, you know? And there's so much pain out there. There's so many people tearing each other down. There's so many people trying to just one-up one another and have these meaningless, hollow relationships and just put on these fake visages and faces and, you know, pretend to be all these things that they're not while they lose themselves in their own lives. And it's just, none of that stuff is worth it. None of it is worth it. We have to build each other up. We have to come together. We have to work together. We have to love. We love, you know, the fucking person who cut you off on the highway. When you become more mentally awakened and mature, you will find you cannot judge others because you don't know anything. You, me, everybody, we're all fucking ignorant to other people's lives. We don't know things. And when you get to a certain point, you find that you can't judge others and you just gotta love people. You have to build each other up. That is what is important. That's how progress is done. You build. You come together. You have an idea that you want to get off the ground. You want to make things happen, and you build. You work together. You compromise. You share ideas, and you build. You can't build this world, and we can't get back on track by continuing to tear each other down, and make each other feel like shit. We all have pasts. We all have ideas we can share, and you know, we can all just come together and try to like make this world a better place. You know, it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts within ourselves. So, anyways, that's my rant for the night. Thanks for watching. It's like this video. Help to spread this around. You know, trying to show people that you can get whatever you want out of life. You just gotta be willing to take the hits. Be disciplined, know what you want, go after it, take no excuses to make things happen, and just believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself because at the end of the fucking day, you're the only person you're waking up with, you're the person you're going to sleep with. Regardless if you're in bed with another person or not, you are alone in your thoughts. You're alone in your mind. You have to believe in yourself. That person in the mirror is your best fucking friend. You need to treat them like they're a fucking prince or princess, right? Like king, queen. You got to treat that person like they're your best fucking friend because at the end of the day, they are. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, I hope you will by the end of this. Like this video, leave a comment down below. Let me know some of the content you guys want to see going forward. You know, and you know, I appreciate the support. I make these videos for free. I'm just trying to chronologically kind of show my journey. Probably have a lot coming forward, especially with the new connections that we're making with everything. And thanks for watching. Keep fucking believing in yourself. Keep building people up. Fucking love you. Have a good night.